Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. Let us understand how Jupiter, helps a native, or in other cases is negatively going to give results when it is posited in the 7th house of the native. We all know that the 7th house has a lot of karakattvas. Very important karakatva out of them is relationship, transaction with the outside world with regard to business transactions. The other most important karakatva of the 7th house is that it is an opposition to the ascendant. So when Jupiter, a putra karaka, a dana karaka, Jupiter has a lot of, the biggest list of karakatvas in Uttara Kalamrita, 120 karakatvas or more than that is for Jupiter. So it is for wealth, for food, for family, for respect, for social recognition. Many, if a person has to become a literate, knowledgeable person, person having wisdom, then it has to be Jupiter. So, a Putra Karaka, let us start from Putra Karaka, Jupiter posited in the 7th house, the person will be very virtuous with good children. To have a good child in this world is a boon. The other way around also people know what actually is they are going through. So to have a worthy son or a worthy daughter, you need to have done a lot of good things in your life. So let us go to the second most important point here is that the 7th house is the opposition to the Lagna. That means it creates an opposite drive to the Lagna. It stops the Lagna from doing certain things. And when such a huge planet, heavy planet like Jupiter, the biggest planet in the solar system, sits there in the 7th house and it is benefic, let us say, then though it gives a lot of challenges to the native, a big beautiful yoga will come, because benefic means it's a yoga karaka. So yoga karaka planet Jupiter, when it is sitting in the 7th house for any given Lagna, it gives rise to a Raja Yoga, a kingly kind of a yoga, wherein the person will be recognized by the government, he will be very close to the government, doing a lot of good service to the society, he will get good name, stature, recognition, many things. But in case if it is malefically disposed or retrograde or something like that, then this particular planet, the Jupiter will become an opposition to the Lagna and the person will suffer a lot, because in that particular Dasha period or the planetary period of Jupiter, he will go through a lot of difficulty in, getting through things, because there will be a lot of opposition. Too much of hard challenge will be there. So, there will be a lot of responsibilities. So, immense responsibility. Too much of responsibility, what will happen is that the person will feel tired of doing things with so much of friction and so much of frustration in life. So, if it is well posited, I told you that there will be social recognition and there will be money through investments, through governmental influences. Government, if you're lucky enough, you will get a very good government project and you will do very well. It's not that you will be making unethical money. You will make ethical money, but you will be lucky enough that to get that project in your favor. So there will be favorable. It's a favorable dasha when it's in the 7th house and it is well posited. If it is ill posited in the 7th house, the same social recognition will become defamation in the society, humiliation in the society, have to leave that place and go far away to another place, travel, sudden travel, accidents, all this can happen. So we need to see and check whether Jupiter is positively posited or negatively posited in the 7th house. SatKalatra Yoga, because the 7th house is known for Kalatra, that is spouse. SatKalatra Yoga happens when Jupiter is well posited in the 7th house. So, if beneficially posited, then the yoga is there. See, every yoga, it has been clearly referred to only the benefic part of it. Like for example, Sasa Yoga, they have told that if Saturn is posited in the Kendra from Lagna and it is also either its exaltation, place of exaltation or own house. So, if these two conditions are there, then Sasa Yoga happens. But that doesn't mean that if there is Rahu along with it, or there is a retro Mars along with it, or a Mars itself along with it, then Sasa Yoga, will it be complete or not? Then that is left to the astrologer to sit and decide as to what is the distance between the planets. So same thing applies with Jupiter also when it is in the 7th house for SatKalatra yoga. SatKalatra, true to their conscience, the spouse will be very respectable, decent and good to the native. So the native will be blessed with a good wife or a good husband. So they will be also very well placed in banking sectors, doing financial investments, businesses. They'll also start earning money through banking investments or fixed deposits. Good brain to invest. They plan a lot. These people plan a lot and invest. So in today's world, we all know that people go through a lot of doubts and suspicion. This is how the world is with regard to the character. They will have gone through so many affairs, this and that before the marriage itself. So this particular yoga of SatKalatra yoga will fortify that this person is a good person. He is ethical. He or she both are ethical with regard to their personal life. They want it to be neat and clean. So they are very ethical. It's falling in love is not bad, but going through too much of hardships of relationships one after the other makes the person go through a lot of frustration and depression. And these people will have kept themselves out of all these problems. So marital happiness is not such great when there is Jupiter in the 7th house, whether it is benefic or malefic. But when it is malefic, you can see that the marriage might break, because it's a very tough situation for the native to handle when Jupiter is in the 7th house and it is malefically disposed. That is very close to Rahu, very close to Sun getting combust in the 7th house. So that is not a good thing to happen in the 7th house. But again, we'll have to check all this after analyzing the chart with regard to the 7th lord, where it is posited, where is Venus posited, the lord of romance and all those things. But anyway, Jupiter in the 7th house is not that great for marital bliss. So Jupiter, if it is, is a malefic to the ascendant, if Jupiter is malefic to the ascendant, then the native should be careful with regard to injury due to accidents. I'll not tell it's going to take away life, because Jupiter is not like that. It doesn't become a Maraka when it is sitting in the Marakasthana. 7th house is a Marakasthana, but still Jupiter's placement in the 7th house might cause some difficulty to the native with regard to vehicular accidents. So you have to be careful. And also, if we have a malefic Jupiter in the 7th house, there might be wasteful travels, like wasteful investments. The same thing will happen with wasteful travels, like going all the way for business to another place, to another country, putting so much of money and time into it, and then go there, and then something will not work out and you will simply come back. It's simply a lot of days and time and money is wasted. So that wasteful journeys might happen if it is malefically posited in the 7th house. And very clearly, people who are having a malefic Jupiter in the 7th house, please do not go into share market investments or stock trading, because it will be impulsively, you will get caught into the flow of the thought of investing and getting money back, but it might not be so lucrative. So people who are having a bad 8th house and a bad Jupiter in the 7th house, please avoid stock market trading. So we all know that it is, Jupiter is a good position in the 7th house if it is for business, because it expands business. People can go into big businesses. They can also go abroad, make a lot of, foreign exchange is denoted by Jupiter, and that is why people can go abroad, do a lot of import and export businesses. So if it is well posited, people can do excellent money, because it is aspecting the 11th house from its position, that is the 7th. So 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. So that's how Jupiter will give good and sometimes bad effects when it is placed in the 7th house. So thank you very much for today's class. I hope I have covered a lot of subject. I was a little fast today. So hope people will pause and listen to it and then study. Thank you very much. God bless.